Donk, it has been a hot minute. When was the last time we ran into each other?
When you asked me if VRchat makes you gay.
Yo, that's been a hot minute.
I've never been more confused as to what the fuck was going on.
Oh,
So, Exo, story time. This guy, when I first started out, like, doing TikTok, like, when I literally had, like, 5,000 followers, we were in a black cat, we were standing over there, and he comes up to, like, my friend and I can't remember who I was with at the time, and he just goes, "Does VRchat make you gay?" I was like, whoa!
so
I said
true.
you had to be at least the tiniest bit of gay to, like, if you started VRchat, you were already the tiniest bit of gay.
You were like slightly fruity, and then VRchat just made you comfortable with your fruitiness.
Yeah, so like I just started like posting those videos. And, like I didn't really think much of it. I was like, oh, whatever, I'll get this online, because I was gonna make like a really long like YouTube video. I post your video, Donk, right? And your video got 7,000 views, which was like an order of magnitude more than anything I had done before that. And I was like, what the hell is this? So then I proceeded to like start adding more and more TikToks, and then the whole thing started snowballing and it got out of control. And like a lot of that was due to the video that you were in, and I've wanted to circle back and let you know that.
Stop. It was just a confused moment of mine where I literally didn't know what was going on.
And I never really like was on VR due to just like I was on VR for a while, and me and him used to play together a lot, and then I stopped playing, and then I got back on, and my headset broke due to personal reasons, and then so I moved in with him, and then so me and him have been sharing a headset, and I didn't have my own account, so I just like hopped on his account sometimes, and there was a moment where something happened where he had to get off, and then I got on, put on his headset to like let his friends know what happened, and Donk was there, and then me and Donk just like clicked instantly, and I was like, yeah, we're married.
To be fair, I was sobbing that day. That day was like awful. Oh my god.
It was a pretty
and
bad
I was
day.
Like, I just want to be friends with you. That's how it was.
And yeah, and then we just became friends, and now we've been friends, and I'm never letting this bitch go. That's why we're married. Make sure you put that in there. We're married.
Who the fuck? What are you?
Wait. Doesn't Donk have a boyfriend?
We don't talk about him.
Does that get confusing?
That's why I'm here. He don't do enough. He don't do enough. I'm here to take care of her needs.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I hope
Y'all
you hear this, PH.
funny.
I hope you hear this. Just fuck you.
Oh my god. He made a TikTok and literally called him out. Like, that
Really?
shit. Oh my
yeah.
god. Oh.
I said I'm
Everyone
waiting for the day
got
my
mad
best
at him,
friend and her
too.
boyfriend. I said I'm waiting for the day my best friend and her boyfriend break up so I can take her. And the song was you know it, you ain't getting your bitch back. And everybody
so
was like, man,
fucking
X, that's
dumb.
fucked up.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Everyone's calling him fucked up, and I'm laughing my fucking ass off. 'Cause it was funny.
I had to like pin a comment that's like, guys, this is a joke, and nobody fucking cares.
Got you into VR chat in the first place?
COVID, I was lonely. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yo, so true.
I was in a super toxic relationship, and I needed like some sort of escape, and one of my friends introduced me to VR, and I just kind of started hanging out here a little bit, and then I realized, you know what? I don't deserve that toxicity, so I broke up with him, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, nice.
Slay.
Vertical recording right now. I just learned how to do that. I feel so proud of myself. So if you want...
You mean turning the camera this way?
Yes, I did turn the camera.
You fucking kill me.
I didn't even mean for that to be rude. I was just genuinely asking because I thought that you found a way to turn the camera with a button, and I was like, wait, so you're not just turning, you can do something else other than just turning it?
I was at work the other day, like real life job.
Oh my god.
Stop. Real life job. and we were talking about like nicknames, and so I was like, I'm not really used to being called my own name, because even my mom calls me Donk at this point.
Wow.
And I was telling them like, oh, like I'm really used to being called Donk, blah 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 blah, and I was like, that's because my username is Shrek's Big Donk, and like I started doing TikTok, but I recently quit. And the girl across from me goes, I think I follow you on TikTok. And I literally wanted to die in that moment and quit my job right then and there. She whips out her phone, shows me her phone, and yep, there she is. She's following me on TikTok.
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
God.
please don't tell anyone that you saw me here today. I've never been more, like, because out of all the places, it had to be my job. Like, it was so scary. And that's, like, the one thing, like, yeah, being, like, a TikToker on here is completely different than being in real life. But that's one thing I think a lot of TikTokers don't want, is people actually recognizing them in real life and figuring out who they are. Because for one, that's why I kind of gained a lot of respect for like real life TikTokers, like Charlie D'Amelio and shit. Like, it's kind of the same shit that they go through, but in VR chat. Like, we have meetups sometimes. Like, people take pictures with us. They will stalk us sometimes. Like, they are crazy. Not all of them. I'm not gonna say everyone's crazy, but people do crazy things, and people will try to get to you for the fame, for the likes, for the follows. They'll do anything. Like, there's people that will be our friend, like all three of us, be our friend and try to meet one of our other friends, and that's the reason they became friends with us in the first place, was to meet someone that they liked for content.
That's crazy.
It's kind of fucked up. And people, like, I've been used for follows, likes, like, I don't care, because, like, what am I gonna do? I mean, I care because, like, it's really hard to make a genuine friend when you become a TikToker. But, like, with them, I don't feel that way, because I know that they kind of go through the same shit, and it's kind of like...
No, it was either a Prison Escape or a different world. I know Mash and, they were, like, there. But, they saw us, and they were like, oh my god, you think that means that they're gonna join, like, you know, they're gonna join and we're gonna meet him. And I was just like, okay, I guess you don't really care to see us. Not that it's a thing, like, I don't care if people recognize me or not, but it kind of just hurts where it's like someone sees you and their first instinct is like, oh my god, we might get to meet this person and so, and it's like, and they just keep talking about it the whole time. And it's like, I guess you don't really care about, like, you know, even as a person you don't care. Not even a TikTok or anything.
Gotcha.
It's just rude.
Recently, we used to know this, like, old friend group, way back, like, about a year ago. Me and him had this friend group on here back whenever, like, we didn't share a headset, whenever I was able to, like, get on with him, and we were all together, and we had this friend group. And it was, this, girl and her boyfriend, and, they both are avatar creators, and they never made us avatars at the time. They were still, like, learning and stuff. We were just hanging out with them. And, they recently ran into my roommate again. And they were like, oh my gosh, hey, we saw that you do TikTok now and that you're really big, and we were, like, really curious if you could, like, you know, wear one of our avatars in your video. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then I didn't know that yet because he didn't tell me because he's been sick. But yesterday, those same people messaged me and they were like, hey, it's so good to, like, you know, see you again, like, really missed you. And saying all this stuff about, like, how they miss me, and I was like, oh my god, wow, like, I haven't heard from you guys in forever, it's so good to see y'all again. They were like, yeah, we heard that you're doing TikTok now. And I was like, yeah, kinda. They were like, yeah, and it'd be really cool if you could wear one of our avatars. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And so I told my roommate about it, and my roommate was like, they said the same thing to me. So, like, our friends that we had known for almost a year messaged us out of nowhere a year later just to say if we could wear their avatars in a video, and we were like, no.
Just for the plug. Yikes, that sucks, man.
Right, and that's why I quit TikTok. Is because I felt like I was constantly, like on display. I felt like I was constantly on display. Like, I was tired of getting used. I was tired of not being able to find genuine friends. I was just tired of everything that was even going on in the TikTok community. Because there's a lot of shit behind the scenes that nobody knows unless those people bring it onto TikTok. Like recently, a situation happened where they exposed a TikToker for domestic violence, in which, as they should do that. It's just like there's so much shit even before that's happened, and it's just like there's so much more that people don't know. Oh, it did? Well,
What's
it
up?
was Lex. I don't care about another thing.
Yeah.
About the thing that Kitty said. So with Exo's roommate, Kitty, Mashi, and I are considered his kids. Like his VRchat kids.
Adoption.
And that's why people, yes. And that's why people come to us and say that stuff about us, because we are considered his kids. So people will say, that's why they say, oh my gosh, if they're here, that must mean that he's coming. But in reality, we're all just being a little groupie group and just trying to have fun. And it does hurt our feelings because, like, we're people too. Like, we don't just represent one person. We're all our own people.
Yeah, and you're not being treated like a person. You know, you're being treated like a commodity, like a thing to get to somebody else. And I'm sure that doesn't feel good.
Ones. Like, Kitty, Exo, and everyone else. Oh, help! My body!
Oh my god.
Sorry. Sorry, I farted. Sorry. Anyway.
I don't consider that big, and I just do it for fun. I never started it to gain anything. At this point, my TikTok has kind of just become like a video diary because or like I'll just do trends. Yeah, I'll just do like it's like a video diary at this point. I'm just kind of doing it for fun, and a lot of people just happen to be able to relate because like mine are about crushes and like feeling sad or whatever. So it's like, you know, it's nice to also see that like people can relate. Yeah, so it's this one My Little Pony song that I used to love as a kid, and I still love now, and I know all the words. And it was like someone walking in on me, little me, like singing that song and dancing to it. And so many people in the comments were like, "Oh my god, like I love that song. I know all the words to that song too." Like it's so nice to know that someone else thought that this song was a bop, and it's really nice to see that. And it's kind of like I'm own personal experiences out there, and people just happen to relate, and it's like, oh, cool.
Like one of my personal favorites is like I'll go around and ask people a whole bunch of questions, right? And the big one is does VRchat help people with social anxiety? And I will see the introverts from the back corner come out with some heartfelt story of how VRchat's allowed them to express themselves and be who they are and like get out of their shell. And like hearing that and hearing the camaraderie in the comment section, like that's the stuff that makes me want to keep making content. That's the stuff that like I live for, is like
Right.
these people coming together in these communities and growing and becoming better people for it.
My side of things has always been kind of hard because on my TikTok, what I tend to do is like I like to be funny and I like to make relatable content that's funny. And so people kind of tend to think that I'm gonna be this kind of gremlin or that I'm like really energetic and that I'm gonna be funny. And like, yeah, there are times whenever I am funny and I do like to be a gremlin, but then sometimes people will join off of me and I'm not really in the mood and I'm very like laid back, and all of a sudden it's, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Are you tired? Like, what's wrong? And like, there's nothing wrong. Sometimes I'm not the person that I portray to be when I'm in TikTok, you know? I'm trying to relate to you and I'm trying to be funny and I want to make you laugh. I just want to exist on your For You page as someone to give you a smile. But that doesn't mean that whenever you meet me, I'm going to be who you see, you know? As much as I love them so much and I want them to know that I love them. But I'm not going to be the same person that I portray on TikTok, because on TikTok, just to make you smile. But here, I just like to relax. I like to kind of go off and do my own thing. I like to lay down and not talk and sleep, and I also get really nervous whenever people come up to me and talk to me. I'm not gonna be so confident and funny. I'm gonna stutter and I'm gonna get shy. Like, it's just stuff like that, you know? They think they have this expectation for me already set so high, and then they meet me and all of a sudden I'm somebody different and they don't understand. And I'm like, it's not, you know, it's not always gonna be what you see. People are different. people will just be a little strange towards me, and like because I try to portray this like kind of golden retriever energy, because like yeah, you can tell I'm like a little white wolf character. I'm just trying to be a little wolf boy on your For You page.
Let's go.
But then that also leads to weirdos kind of coming up to me and they're like, oh, I bet you like being called puppy, and I'm like, that gave you no right to, like what excuse me, where did you get the audacity to start saying that to me? Like, people are very, very creepy, especially just, like, when you're even the slightest bit vulnerable, they all of a sudden think that they know everything about you. And you're like, that's why I don't like to meet people. It's just...
someone else's meet and greet, mind you, not one that I was, like, my own. I wasn't able to go to that one, okay. And so... and... long story short, sometimes people will be really shy to meet you, and they'll have like a friend who has the confidence to go pull you, like go to you to get your attention or pull you over and be like, hey, I have so and so, like a friend of mine that's really excited to meet you, they're too nervous, whatever. And that happened to me for like the first time ever, and I got really excited because I was like, oh my god, I never thought I'd get to a point where like someone would be so excited to see me. Hi grandma. I never thought that someone would ever be so excited to see me to a point of like,
Hello.
oh, they're gonna like they need someone to pull me over aside.
Yeah.
And so
He's a big fan.
Yeah. I don't know who you are
And
exactly,
so-
but our friends are kind of fangirling over you, and they don't want to talk to you because they're nervous.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will be right back. It's funny, we were just talking about this.
Yeah, for real.
you see.
Yeah, no, totally.
So long story short, I had someone that two girls that were really nervous to meet me and had one of their friends pull me over, and he goes up to me, he's like, hey Kitty, I have two friends really excited to meet you, they're over there. I was like, okay. So I'm going over to meet them and say hi, and they're excited and I'm hugging them, and they're taking, and like he's taking pictures, and he looks at me and he goes, by the way Kitty, I know you're submissive and breedable. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he was like, yeah, I can tell you're submissive and breedable. I know you're a sub. I can tell from your TikTok video. Meanwhile, I rarely ever post anything suggestive. There's only one video I've ever did, and that was the most recent one. But usually, like, my stuff is very safe for work. And like rarely suggestive. And so afterwards, I was just like, okay, well, what do you mean? And then he crashed. And afterwards, I've encountered him 2 other times after. And the second time, he's like saw me or whatever. I was like, oh, hi. And then the other time, the last time I saw him, he kept sending me friend requests, but I kept declining them because I didn't feel comfortable after that. And he noticed that apparently I had one of his friends added, because I add everyone. I had one of his friends added, but not him. He goes up to me, he's like, Kitty, what gives? Like, you have my friend added, but not me. What's wrong? And I was honest in front of everyone. I was like, listen, my first impression of you was you calling me submissive and breedable when we were in the optimized box world, and that didn't make me comfortable. So I don't feel comfortable adding you. I'm really sorry if that's not what you want to hear. And he immediately is like, oh, well, that's fine. I'm used to getting bullied anyways. Both of my parents are dead. And starts trauma dumping. And I was like, I was just explaining why I was not comfortable friending you, but that's it. And then afterwards, when he left, my friends pulled me aside. And yeah.
That sounds like someone who's very manipulative. You know what I mean?
I believe he was a minor. That's the thing, too.
Okay.
We were having the after party with people just mingling and all that stuff. All I hear is this little voice behind me, and this is when I was in half body at the time. All I hear is this little voice saying, "LadyKira," and it's like I turn around. It's this little avatar. It's very unique. It had like a mask with like little axolotl ears on it. And she was very nervous to talk to me. And I was like, "Oh, what's wrong, sweetheart? Are you okay?" And she's like, I was trying to talk to you all night, and I'm working up the courage to talk to you, but I want to let you know you're one of my main inspirations to start TikTok. I couldn't have done it without you. And I literally started bawling. Hey, Donk. I literally started bawling, dude. Like, I have never had that kind of interaction to have my work make an impact in someone in my life. It just means a lot to me. Like, it means a lot to hear that my work has an impact on other people's motivation to create, and that's what I strive for my content. Sure, my content is kind of be weird and mixed bag or whatever, sometimes serious and not serious, but I always strive for people to, get out of their comfort zone and do their work and be, to never give up. And that's what continues to motivate me to make more content because of fans. There was this one guy who wanted me to take a picture with their VR kid because they were all questy and they were at a desktop. And they were like, you know how people say, oh, say cheese to smile or whatever. They were like, say I'm submissive and breedable. It's like, huh? It's just weird. It was just weird. I was like, I'm not saying that, dude. Yeah, but that makes me kind of uncomfy.
All in the black cat. You were even there, but you were upstairs. This guy came up to me and he was like, "Yeah, I follow you on TikTok. I bet you like being called puppy too." And touched my chin, and I was like, "Yeah, you're getting blocked."
Don't touch people.
It's a virtual, VRchat's a virtual reality game. And okay, yeah, we're not physical or whatever. We're not physically in front of you. People kind of let go of I guess social etiquette and just basic etiquette in general, and being kind and polite and careful with boundaries. And a lot of the times, it's happened to me before too, where people get really huggy with me, and I even did a TikTok about it, where I was saying how people that come up to me and try to hug me without asking first, and it was for the one audio where it's whoa, 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 and I got some mixed reactions in my comments because it was oh, it's just a VR game. They're not actually touching you. Why does it bother you? And then other people oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Next time I'll ask before I hug you. So it's it's just I like to think I don't want to change. I act the way in VR as I would in real life more. So it's if I go up to someone and they're not a friend, I'm gonna ask hey, is it okay if I hug you? Just things like that, because there also is fan upsets and a bunch of other stuff too. So it's yeah.
I say, if you're starting out TikTok, just post it. You have that idea, record it, edit it, just post it. You won't know until it's done. And sure, it may not get many views at first, but just keep trying.
Forget
Some
about
people
the
are luckier
views
than
and the
others.
likes and the followers. If you enjoy it, post it. If you are happy about it and you enjoyed making it and you're proud of it, post it. Don't care about the views, don't care about the likes, don't care about the follows. You will get where you want to be by doing what you want to do. That is my advice.
That's how I got.
First video, my very, very first one, unfortunately it was a thirst trap, and that got everybody through the roof. It was dumb. It was really, really dumb. And then everything after that was just empty, empty, empty. Oh, this one popped off. Empty, empty. And it wasn't until hit my 10K mark was when my comment section became more active with more people in it. It's always rough in the beginning. It's never gonna be easy, especially on videos you really, really work hard on and you really wish it would pop off. For me, I make cinematic, artsy storytelling TikToks. Those don't get enough views. The ones that tell funny pee-pee jokes do. So
it's so true though. If you spend
that's
more
how my
than 2 minutes on a
I
video,
comedy.
it's not gonna do well.
And when people laugh,
For that one's the one that blows up, but the one that you're wow, I did so good on this video. This turned out exactly how I wanted it. You spent 2 hours on it. You post it. It zero. You get nothing. It's just how it is. It
Oh my
sucks.
gosh. Thing you guys want to
Man.
say to your audience in general, or even to VR chat as a whole, what would that be?
To my audience,
Don't
I
be
love
creep.
you. To VR chat, give me my freeze frame back.
yeah. And the laws of the internet. Don't be stupid. Ask people for their ages. By God, doesn't take more than a minute. Fucking ask for consent. Also, don't just fucking start touching people's tittles.
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 My community, I'm sorry for leaving so soon, but if you knew what it's like behind the scenes, then you would do it. But I love you guys,
Oh,
and to VR chat, suck my dick. Sorry.
Goddamn.
Community, I would say, don't be afraid to be you, but also at the same time, set your boundaries. Never be afraid to put down boundaries. It's a VR game, but even so, it doesn't matter. You should feel comfortable no matter what. VR chat, I have to agree with XO. I don't care about your drone system. I still want my camera animator back, please. I like to do the trail. Please, I don't like your drone system. Your drone system, I don't like it.
It's literally chill out.
Because VRChat already in itself is like, even though it's like, it seems really big in general, it's actually very niche. And even so, it's even like, there's even more niche groups within VRChat itself. Because there's TikToker sides, and of course, in each, like within our TikTok community, there's different groups of like TikTokers or like cliques, like Donk said. But then you also have VRChat YouTubers, you have VRChat streamers. Like they're all different. You have VRChat ASMR artists. There's a whole ASMR community that I once used to be a part of. There's VRChat. Sorry, I lagged for a second. There's even like VRChat ASMR artists, VRChat role players. There's whole roleplay communities within VRChat itself too. Like there's a lot of different communities within this game.
Yeah, like I